Here we go.
Hello and welcome, one and all, to the very first piece of material for the all-new Under the Cage podcast. I am your host, Sky Rudlow, and I would like to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be a podcast, less of an episode and more of just kind of a quick bit of information about what these podcasts are going to be, what you're going to be listening to or watching with these, who we are, who I am, who my guests are, and what we're going to be talking about, basically. I will tell you right now, this is primarily going to be an interview podcast. It's a rare occurrence that you're going to see just me sitting here or hear just my voice talking. To be completely honest, I don't consider myself that terribly interesting, but I do know a lot of people who are. So we're going to bring them in and we're going to sit and talk to them. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, or as you can not see if you're listening, I am here at my gym in Tallahassee, Florida. There is a large cage behind me. Underneath that cage is a whole lot of crap. Now, in the literal sense, that's because here at my gym, I have F all for storage space and I got to put things wherever the heck I can fit them. But in a metaphorical sense, there is a lot of crap under the cage that most people don't know about. Now, in all my years of coaching, you would be amazed how many people come in and can tell me every single thing about the top 5 guys in the UFC. But not only do they not know the name of a single local fighter, they don't know that there are local fights that even exist. So many people don't know about the intricacies of mixed martial arts. They don't even know that they don't know. They don't know that there is a whole world that exists before you know about a fighter. Most of the time, when people have their ways that they learn about fighters, be it the Contender series, or back in my day, it was the Ultimate Fighter, which I know it technically still exists, but I don't know anyone still watches it. That these people kind of are starting out when they see this, or even when they're talking about somebody that is in the UFC and making their debut, first run to the UFC, like, oh, this is the beginning of this guy's career. Well, no, this is actually the culmination and end of a lot of work of a whole other universe that exists before they make it to that big show. I'll tell you a fun little story here. I am from Florida. I don't do cold well. So recently I was up in Denver and we were at a place stopping to get food. It turned out to be connected to a hockey rink. I asked the lady what the game going on down there was. She said, oh, that's a college game. And it suddenly hit me. I had no idea there was college hockey. Yes, I know that's pathetic. I fully recognize how stupid that is. Again, Florida, we're not a big hockey state here, but it just never occurred to me where NHL players came from. I don't know if I thought that the recruiters watched the Little League games out on the local park or what. It just didn't dawn on me. And if I put even a half a second of thought into it, it occurred to me, well, of course there's college hockey. Well, it's the same thing with mixed martial arts. While there isn't a per se college league, there are levels and levels, starting from teen jiu-jitsu and kickboxing up through amateur, up through pro, regional, all that. There are all these little stepping stones that, from what I've seen, a lot of people don't know exist. So we're going to get into that in this podcast, and we're going to talk to those people. By the time you see a guy going to his first fight, that guy has probably been the champion of numerous amateur promotions. Frankly, he better have, because the competition level jumps so drastically between amateur and pro. The skill level goes so high that if you weren't the best in your area of amateurs and you weren't just walking over about half the guys that you fought, it's not your sport. It's just, it gets so deep, so quickly at pro. And you'll start to taste that a little bit at the upper levels of amateur. So if you're not doing well there, you're not going to do well at the big show. That's just my humble opinion, though. But that brings me to my opinion. Who am I? Why should you care what I have to say about any of this stuff? Well, my name is Sky, Coach Sky, if you prefer. I am a 20-year veteran of mixed martial arts, a little bit more than that now. I was a pro fighter, albeit not a terribly good one, but I am a damn good coach. I've been doing coaching for over 10 years. In that time, I have coached hundreds and hundreds of fighters, many of them to championships in both amateur and professional. I am a student under Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Our school is an affiliate of Bang Muay Thai. And one thing I like to do is travel. And I like to go to other schools if they are willing to let me come in and work with the team and get to do rounds with these schools around the country. And through that, I have met and shared the mats with some of the most amazing high-level fighters on the planet, guys at the top of the sport, guys like Justin Gaethje, Stephen Thompson, Lyoto Machida, just lots and lots of the highest levels caliber fighters. And, you know, it's amazing what can happen when you just send an email or show up and ask, hey, I'm former pro, can I train with the team? You can get some pretty incredible people to punch you in the face. So through that, I've met a lot of the people that know this world very, very well. And through my fighters, I've met the people that support this world. Because in mixed martial arts, as I said, you have to spend a lot of time as an amateur. Well, the training isn't that much different for that. It takes a lot of time, especially if you're trying to do it in a way that's going to take you to a pro level. And as a pro, you're not making huge amounts of money. These guys at the regional circuit, you know, if you fight every other month, you're a very active fighter. Well, making $2-3 grand every other month isn't really gonna leave you driving Cadillacs and Ferrari. You're gonna have a side hustle. You're gonna have to have something that allows you to do this training. And I'm telling you, a 9 to 5, it's hard to make a pro level training schedule work, or even an amateur level training schedule work if you're trying to do it as more than a hobby. And it's a tough hobby. But if you're trying to do this as a serious thing, these guys have the craziest side hustles, thing you'd never think of. You know, some of them do stuff on Instagram and YouTube. Some of them have like car wash businesses, dog walker. You don't know what it is. And we're going to talk to these guys and we're going to show you that world that they live in that allows them to move to that next level. And I'm telling you, a lot of these guys are not living MTV Cribs style. God, I am old. Doubt that show still exists. Anyways, so we're going to talk to them, but not just the fighters. We are going to talk to fighters, but we're also going to talk to the support network that exists around those fighters. We're going to go to the gyms because, frankly, who wants to watch a Zoom call from an internet? We are going to go on location to these places. We are going to talk to the coaches in their gyms. We are going to go to these shows, the regional shows, the amateur shows. We're going to sit in those cages before a show and talk to the promoter and listen to their stories as to how they came to get to where they're at. There is so many levels to this stuff. Everything from the big shows like the UFC and Bellator. I don't know when we're going to get Dana White to sit down with us, fingers crossed. But the regional things that feed the UFC, the big pro shows that do that, then the mid-level pro shows that kind of do amateur and pro, the low-level amateur shows, everything in between. We're going to talk to those guys and let them tell you what that world is like. Because again, I've been there. I don't run it. I do run the gym, but just mine, and they all are different. Every city is different. Every place has different history. Some of these guys were there in the beginning of mixed martial arts, before The Ultimate Fighter, before it was really on Spike TV and it blew up the way it did. They know the regional scene back then, and those coaches were fighters then, and the scene was so different then. And their stories are going to be completely different from the guys that are fighting now. It's just a different world. We're also going to talk to the people that support these fighters, their sponsors, their clients, whoever those fighters want to kind of let you talk to and hear why those people want to support these fighters, what their side of it is. We are going to get down to the nuts and bolts of all of this. So I hope you were willing to come along with this on this and kind of learn about this side of mixed martial arts. Next episode is going to be a regional one. We are going to talk to my personal jiu-jitsu coach, the guy that got me started in all this, Harrison Pfeiffer. He has been around mixed martial arts here in Tallahassee from the very beginning. And I mean that literally, because when Coach Harrison started and very shortly after that, there was no mixed martial arts in Tallahassee. The sport didn't exist in this area. Almost no one knew about it. I mean, good Lord, there were still Blockbusters around. You had to go to the Blockbuster sports section to find a tape or DVD of the UFC to watch it. It has been a while. So we're going to talk about that and what it was like in Tallahassee and how it grew and how it developed until it's here now. And maybe someday in the future we'll have one of the other people that have also been here in Tallahassee. We will talk to jiu-jitsu coaches, all that stuff. We are going to get into all of it. So we hope you see you then. And thank you for giving me about 10 minutes of your time here. And we will see you next time. Puss.